Good morning. And more of the same. A little different. Okay, let's take a look. So oil's up a bit here. More uncertainties, what's going to happen, oil shortages, energy, inflation, recession, all of that stuff. One of them will happen. We'll find out which one soon enough. Everything continues. We'll check everything out, but from what I've seen, everything pretty much continues trading within that day's range. When we got the whipsaw, it looked like Armageddon, and oil came down. Equities went up. Now they're coming back down. And through this wide range volatility, we're waiting for things to calm down, to have a more predictable scenario or pattern. So, for the moment oil's going up, there has to be a void because you got a wide range bar like that. So there's a void in a smaller time frame, gives the ability to go up. And so this is a power bar within an uptrend, which, you give something a rating systems in a way and say, well, what are you going to rate higher than the other? Well, a power bar versus an uptrend in multiple time frames. Multiple time frames get the weight of the evidence, but then you see if it follows through. And so here is where, like, yeah, could have followed through today, lower, inside day, inside holding. No, now it's going up. As you can see, as it's moving up here, we'll just continue to monitor that to see how that unfolds today. Bond market. So bond market inching down a little bit. Bond market down, interest rates up. It's not going down a lot. Oil's not going up a lot, but let's just say everybody's on edge. Was the next shoe going to fall here? We'll see. And these kind of patterns where everything is overlapping like that, we don't have any true range expansions compared to these. We don't have any clear definable pattern here. It's still just day to day, hit or miss within the daily time frame. So as we look around for something substantial, well, software, that's kind of substantial. Now, could all just be part of a bottoming process. Even if it comes all the way down here, I've said it numerous times, bottoming patterns are treacherous. They come off of lows because traders are either short or somebody thinks it's cheap, especially with the weekly chart. It was down here on support. You could see there, scrunch that up, but it was on support. And they make these impressive moves, and sometimes they flip back up. But these bottoming patterns, as we trade them in the advisory letter or in the green room, one thing that we know is going to be a period where they're going to be the greatest setups, and you get these bottoms and they work out tremendously well in the short term. And then all of a sudden they start failing. And that's what's happening here. Right? We had a lot of them that worked out well. And then short-term stops get hit. It's inevitable when trading. And so now this may come down to the low. And if prices should continue lower, ideally it comes down here, it breaks the low, and then we get a vicious kind of reversal down here. But it'll just be bar by bar, day by day, just inch lower. And where is it right now? Why isn't that curve? Oh, because I don't have IGV on here. I'm wondering why it's not moving for pre-market. So it's gapping down. And you can see now the cursor is there. It's gapping down closer to support. I think probably just have to keep coming down. Till buyers want to step up there again. Okay. So that's lower. I'm going to get to the Qs and everything else here. But this was shaping up a couple of days ago. Okay, is this going to break down below here? Or is it going to curl back up and start moving up? And so yesterday it was like, okay, it's curling up. It stalled there, not a big deal. And now and it's gapping down into the middle of that bar, still within this range. It's range bound. So one day looks, hey, we're going up. The next day it looks, I'm not so sure. It's still within a base. It is what it is. There's just this uncertainty that's plaguing the markets right now. And we just day by day see what is offered and how it unfolds. Um, so spiders and SPX. And so gapping down, pretty sizable gap down. I didn't look to see what percentage wise it is, but gapping within the range of this down bar. It's still bar by bar. So look, it came down a whole lot. You can see the weekly chart and spread it out there. You got a weekly chart with a rounding top in an area of major support. Maybe it's got to come down in this level down here. We'll see. So far, putting the week in perspective, it's running in place. There's the bar. Inside the prior red bar, kind of toward the middle of the range, give or take. Well, now it's a little bit lower because it's gapping down, but still within that range, in the lower 50%. So the market is essentially, look, whatever the news is going on, it seems more like it's just catching its breath. And, as it goes sideways here, at some point, it's either going to take another leg down or it's going to flip back up again. Right now, it's, best guess. Now, that being said, look, if oil rockets past where it currently is and starts moving toward the highs and interest rates go up, the market's going to go down. So it's not that we're out here in the cold, not knowing what to do within these time frames is to sit on your hands and then monitor the intermarket relationships to see what's going to happen next. Let me go here first. So Dan can capture that. You can see these strikes moved back down considerably from where they were. So we've got, bearish sentiment. This is the extreme. It's down near a whole number. And so, over time, these whole numbers, way back when it was 6,900, it was whipping back and forth. It would get up and everybody, 7,000, 7,000 something. And then it would go down, to 69.50, 68, come back to 69. Then it was 67. And now it's rattling it around, over here. And from an intraday trading point of view, right, we're just keeping an eye on this. You'll see, I can fix that, but just put an alert there at 6,500. Prices come down there. There's going to be buyers. You see what the reaction is. As the day gets going, we'll see what the high volume strike is in the puts. And you can see right now it's 64.90, but that'll change dramatically as the day begins. So whether it gets down here today, unlikely. And and all of this is just, look, you look at the chart, you see how things are trading, whether it's SPX or IBM or Apple or NVIDIA. You look at the chart, where's support, where's resistance, where's the trend, what's its average true range, right? On a day-to-day or 5-day basis or whatever you want to choose. And then, common sense. Okay, 100 points, it's down, it's here. If it trades 100 points to the upside today, would it hit that? If it trades to the downside, would it hit that? Now, if the markets head down in the first 30 minutes and they're down here, and there'll be premium down here or lower, you say, well, it's already moved 75 points, average true range. Maybe it can go another 25 points. Where can I pick a strike? It's not rocket science. You don't need one of these, colored charts with all the clouds and all that kind of stuff that they use now. for this options activity. Some basic stuff. It works. But, all right. Qs, they do have some fancy looking charts. Yeah, they're impressive looking. Definitely chart artist material. All right, Qs down, still within the range. A weekly chart, you got to go to higher time frames. Support is down here where it's holding all that congestion. Big rounding top. It's getting rejected on the way up. The week is not done, so we got all day today and tomorrow. We'll see where it ends the week. Right now, the way this is moving lower, it's reasonable to think it's coming down here, but 65-minute, 5-minute downside momentum is slowing, waiting for the open. All right. So we always look around, see how other markets are doing. This one was stronger. It's rolling over. Yeah, likely to come down here. And that's where support is. Let me just check something here. Did I change that? No. Just give me a second here. NinjaTrader, I don't know what formula they used for pivots, but it doesn't match. It does not match eSignal. It does not match TC2000. It does not match TradingView. It does not match TradeStation. So I don't know what makes them think they have some special formula, but look, it's primarily a futures trading platform, so maybe they got some secret sauce there, but who cares? Technical analysis is all about what everybody else is looking, line it up. So I changed to this one because the S3 on NinjaTrader, they put it further away. And in any event, was close. So here it's lined up with these two lows there. Most likely, since this is trending down, it goes there, and then I hope it goes down there fast, and then that would set up some kind of a reversal. YM, similar story. All of these at the moment look like they're lower, but they're just running in place within this bar. And so you take a bar, you put it in perspective of an event bar, put it in perspective of the trend in multiple time frames, and trying to make sense from this time frame. Best to avoid it. Intraday, we could always find something. Bitcoin looks like it might go lower, right? This is a bottoming pattern. It looked good here, like to go higher. You look over here, breaks, it goes back up. If it can go sideways, this is like the thought process. If it can go sideways, maybe it could break out. Now it's back down here, and it's trading within this bar. Again, from this time frame, the message is stay away. Nobody knows what to do. So it's just day to day, whatever news event. And, some news event will probably either rip it higher or rip it lower. You want to trade that in that time frame? Know what you're dealing with. Now, gold is lower. Looks like everything pretty much is lower for the moment. It looks lower. Silver was looking, short-term extended. We talked about, I don't know if it was this or something else in the room. We say it's extended, but not climactic, because I think it was gold. Because climactic happens after like the second leg down or the third. This is the beginning of a move, but it can become a retest and reversal pattern. So I don't have that yet. So another one, stay away this time frame. And other than that, we covered bonds, we covered interest rates, we looked at semiconductors, retailing, right? Doing nothing. I suppose energy that was starting to roll over is up. That had moved lower, started to move lower yesterday. Now it's up. That's running in place. So that's the message here today. everything so far. I didn't go through all the gaps, but so far, um, most things are just running in place here. So we'll take it by ear. Uh, as this market opens, I'm just looking at a few gaps, like airlines that were bottoming. Now they're gapping down, LUV, and a whole lot of gap downs. And other than that, we will see how it unfolds today and go from there. To you, Dan.
The taco talk continues. Now it seems like everybody's questioning Trump and the rhetoric that's been going on here. But this, for the first time in a long time, our open positions in the advisory are 100% short. Five or six. Look at them. Wow, my voice is still not fixed. Opens. Right, we got five. Google. They have a barefoot debit spread. They're in some litigation, social media addiction, along with Meta. So that's good. We're in management mode. Into it. Kind of an M top and a downtrend with a void. We shorted that yesterday. Gobi been in what's today, Thursday and Tuesday. We shorted the low, gapping down, trail mode, MDB yesterday. A lot of these patterns were breakdowns and downtrends like this. We covered a third on this Climo. Looks good. Team looks good. Shorted that breakdown right here. This little, well, no, that was pre-market. But we shorted in here just into the afternoon close. Oh, let's see. We did an SMH. Remember the yesterday afternoon? I was like, should we not enter this thing? We had a breakout failure in the 15, and we're just in an environment. It's just higher risk, particularly credit spreads. But we have the 387s for tomorrow, but we still have $6 cushion. These are earnings. Take a look. Jefferies, they're opening fairly flat, no pattern. Having 11.15, excessive gap to the high. No interest. Carmen, some of you all were talking about good fundamentals on that yesterday. We didn't do any earnings trades. It sold off into the close, 98.50. I don't see anything to do with that except maybe call spread. 1 DTE. Milken. Okay, so that fits in the category of nasty excessive gap. Ideally, it drops another dollar. Well, let's watch that. See if it wants to bounce, maybe for 1 DTE here. APEC. I don't, when I don't see volume, I don't trust it. This is actually a 1, 2, 3 with a void. So I'm going to set an alarm at 37.75. And if it is gapping down, then I'll just delete it. Whiskey Sierra 28, that's another ugly, yeah, wow. Down from 50. I got, I got no bias at all. We'll come back to it. Do opening flat. That's just a total mess. Rex, no pattern, but nice 15. No, I know there's these prior highs over here, but that's that's a very bullish 15 in inverse head and shoulder. So if it opens flat, then consider 5, 10, 15-minute line. Average possible $10 one DTE or do Carnival. All right, I have an alarm at 1770. This is a sell setup with a rebar turn. So I like that. For a short, under yesterday's low. And as you all know, I don't trade in the first 5 minutes. So even if it, unless I have a very liquid, compelling pre-market pattern. And then sometimes I'll enter pre-market. But I got nothing here pre-market. Love, Sam's Love Sack. Sam's on the board of this company. Excessive gap, nothing to do. No pattern. And that's it on earnings. There's a couple left over. And here's some that I added this morning. Look at NUE. Nucor steel. That's a nice, beautiful multi-bar turn. Multi-bar. And then a cap up with a void. That looks great. They don't have weeklies, but the 155s, a little spready, but they're very juicy. So whatever day it sets up, I'm watching that for directional hands. Let's run tapping the $4, gap's too big, but breakdown failure with a void. For the I just saw this thing, Robinhood Ventures Fund. I have no idea what's in this thing. And I'm assuming it's Robinhood derivative of the company Hood. Look at the, you know how we talk about no-brainer 1, 2, 3s from consolidation, void, etc. Look at this 1, 2, 3 right here. I know it's an IPO, but still, as long as it had a void to the left, look, you had a retreat, you had a big move, you had a bottoming tail, doji, gap reversal, closing breakout, inside bar. That is perfect 1, 2, 3 pattern. Perfect. Nothing to do with it now. I like pointing out just perfect patterns because what our job is to trade, 8, 9s, and 10s quality. This is 5, man. Oh, this is, look, Wave Sciences. I just wanted to show you this exhibit A of the risk of trading bios. Nice little 70% haircut. Mara was ripping here this morning for some reason. It's not earnings. I mean, you got a lot of junk to the left, but let's watch that for 1 DTE quick spread. I'm going to put that in a window. I did not check if the others were moving. From yesterday. Let's see what happened down. Let me set a new alarm. right around the closing price for 433.90. Because if this does open flat, that's a 1, 2, 3 from consolidation at the 200 breakdown, failure, and avoid. So that is a quality 1, 2, 3. Target 450. Battle. It's a little oil stock. Remember when this thing just blasted here? And there's no pattern. I surely wouldn't trade that daily. But it might set you up a day trade pattern, but I got enough to watch. All right, that's all that. These are all our opens here. I can put them on the other computer. Let's go up here. What else is on my list? There's 1, 2, 3 clack, but now with the gap down, that was a quality 1, 2, 3. I mean, not for a swing because I don't like the reward to risk, but had this open flats, then that would have been a good day trade over that last 15-minute pivot. But now the gap down with the weak semis are messing it up. Team we're in. Team you can add. That's a nice slow grinder down. Flunk. My buddy Bat Too Long gave this to me yesterday. I did not enter. Let me set a new alarm, 1640. Workday. All right, so this is the, I wish it had a bigger void. It's a nice closing breakdown. You got this over here. Would have been a great call spread, but these spreads on these things are asinine. AMD, that could be a 1 DTE. I'm gonna set an alarm at 219. It's everything in the sector looks like it's down, but that's relative strength. And why do I say that? It's because of it's as bullish as can be, igniting gap on the daily, and the gap down on the 15 is acceptable. It's not destroying the pattern. Toby, we're in Neo. That would be a good one now over yesterday's high. I'll set alarm 585. Yeah. This is a bottoming pattern. Alex mentioned yesterday. I will just, it's kind of dead animal. I don't know how far it's gonna go. I'm gonna set an alarm at 4840. And here we go. Shoot, carnival alarm. AMD up alarm. Hit my 219 already. So let's look at Meta's tanking here. Meta, Google, Apple, they're all falling. All right, shoot, carnival. Ah, gap's too big, so scratch it. Got zero interest. I said if it opened flat, I liked it. So the gap messed it up. AMD. See, what did I say about relative strength? The gap down was marginal, less than 30%. That's the best looking semi, top of the range, so I'm not crazy about a directional. I was yesterday, I was looking for a directional and put spread. So I would do the 210s for tomorrow, 75 by 87.
Marvell is strong. That's the strongest one.
So $5 wide AMD is 41 cents right now. Marble, well, it's too extended for me, but yeah, playing very strong.
Looks like maybe there's a spread. Texas Instruments had a big reversal a couple of days ago. It's holding up.
I looked yesterday on that one. So the 95s for tomorrow. 28 by 46, so nothing.
On Semiconductor is another one bottoming. It's holding up well.
Yeah, I think Texan. So you see it's fairly tight. You know, it went up and it's controlled as of right now. So yeah, that looks good.
AVGO could be a call spread possibly. It's below all the moving averages. A gap down today might retrace a little, but you can get above that little consolidation.
Yeah, that one's always spreading and good.
MU might be washed out. If you can get a put spread far enough away, it's right on major support and it's falling straight down into major support.
Actually, I have go 322s, but it's 45-cent spread and a $5 wide. Well, that's the spread is the problem on Avgo. And we're already in SMH, but yeah, I like the pattern for it, sure. Hey, this NUE middle chart I mentioned. That looks, I like that. Let me check puts again. There's no weeklies though. I'm not going out 3 weeks in this environment to use the weakest. 155s. I think, wow, you could do the 150s, but it's $1.10 by $1.75. I've been so cautious this week on new trades. What other alarms do I got? That's it. Guggenheimer doing well. Biggs. It's too sloppy, Thomas. Yeah, it's up 2 bars. It's a gap. You got this is going to be a lot of resistance. I think hourly. It's I mean, this look, it's rallied from 197. That could be a wide range ending at resistance. It's horrible. I mean, you all know I get in this mode of don't take it personal, but it's going to be very high threshold to interest me in a directional. So cash is a position. All right, to it.
This is another day where we got, a gap. There's a void above and there's a void below. For me, I don't have a pattern to act on. It's not near support. It's not near resistance. In the futures, they're 24 hours, so you got something of a chart to go on.
Solid igniting camp there. MDB doing good. So. Mouse, it's not working now. And that's the one I said, possible excessive gap. Fires did step up. Yes. Yeah, messed it up. This was from Sam's list. No interest, TT. All right, TT is still okay. Above yesterday's high. T-Doc. One of you gave me, watch. I like it, Trent. You're doing naked. Charlie Echo. That needs to simmer down. The 1, 2, 3. This is the one I think I said yesterday. Nice 15-minute chart. You could buy the high for a day trade. Still days low. Kind of a slow mover though. Suncoke Energy. Next needs to get above yesterday's high, but this was the one I said the target. I'm not sure about. No, microchip was bullish yesterday. It got smacked back down. Thanks. PNC got smacked down. There's your step. Neil, we got AMD. Greg's Alpha has to take out yesterday's high. Teradyne deep retracement. Forget about it. It's the ETF for private credit. My poor neighbor, EOSE. I haven't talked to him since that original day on the gap down. But he has to be psychologically devastated. All right, I got to reboot the computer. I gave it 5 minutes here to see if it would shape up. And it is not.
You didn't make the switch last night? Yes. Dan, do you have your software on the new computer yet? Why don't you connect one monitor to it and just load all your software on there and your pages in a folder? And then when you connect it, All you have to do is arrange the monitor, on when your display thing, and everything should work.
All right, this is my mic on the laptop till I get the big computer set up. Man, this poor ELSC looks like a friggin' day trade short right here. Look at that. That's a small little gap breakdown. Bearish. Man, bearish. Daily, weekly.
Yeah, Falcon's not the only place that builds computers, but for trading, but they've been around for a long time, and my experience has been a good one. And now you have a good experience. Dan hasn't had bad experiences.
Alex, what happened to your Hewlett Packard? I thought you bought some rocket ship.
Didn't work with TradeStation.
Really? Why? I thought you hated Falcon. Really? Right. No,